Hello, my name is John Nelson, the plugin CEO of JKL Works and Plugin Business, and it is the plugin business side that we get to explore today. So thank you so much for watching. This video has actually sort of been a long time in putting together, longer than perhaps it should. And there are multiple reasons for that, business building and all sorts of other things, among others. But the plugin business side has been a bit neglected. So we're going to fire out of the chute with this, with something that is such a hot topic. We'll probably have to redo this video in just a couple of months and add some whole new folks to it. So some whole new businesses. So what we wanted to talk about this time is not only chat apps that are out there and chat situations for your business that you can have, but as of course you can probably guess, AI, as it has crept into everything, is all over the chat space right now, and the chat and chat bot space. So here are some different options that you can think about whenever you're exploring chat bots and AI in general, and just kind of see which one of these, sort of perhaps resonates with you. I'm not sure which ones those are going to be. Oh, by the way, I do want to thank some folks from the Smart Marketers Facebook group. A shout out over there to Ryan Labar, James Hurst, and Ethan Maestas. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name, but all those guys contributed to the creation of this video. So I really appreciate that. And I don't really have any, I don't have any affiliation with any of these folks other than the Go High Level. That I'll obviously mention a little bit because they do have a role in what's going on with this. So we do want to make sure that that everybody is covered here. So, but we also want to, go through and get a good, a good review of some things that are going on. So you're going to see there's some issues. This is such a hot topic right now. There's going to be some issues going on here. So you see our first stop on the tour, and that would be at ManyChat. So ManyChat, if you're not familiar, it's been around a while, and some or all of it was open source, or at least community based. But they also have a closed source version that you can pay for that's extremely affordable to keep everything going. And it was sort of the predecessor to all of this. It's sort of the platform where this all came from. You can integrate ManyChat into all sorts of things. I was looking for my mouse as we can work our way down here. I've seen it into SMS messages, social media. Was looking at implementing it myself. If we go to the pricing on it, you see there's some different applications, but it's sort of a DIY thing. It is very much the reasoning for the DIY. So I'm not really sure why that's not kicking in there. There it is. Okay, so you see our pricing here is very, very reasonable, but this is kind of a DIY thing. You see, here's the community version over here. It's free, limited, but free. And then you can pay something to do more. It's highly customizable. You can do a lot with it, but it's very sort of raw in that respect. It's kind of like playing with something. I mean, it's much more sophisticated than this with something like Arduino, if you're familiar with that, for building robotics and that sort of thing. That's very much where ManyChat has positioned itself, and you can do amazing things with it. You can add on a lot to it. They've added on AI to it in some ways, and even predecessors of AI. But it's very do-it-yourself. So it's a great place to start. Now, if you want to get a little more sophisticated, then you might consider something like this. It's called Segmate, and not a lot of information here, not a lot of pricing information. There may not be any pricing on it. I'm not really sure, but this is a chatbot builder, so you can build your own. It is very much geared toward that. There were some of the names I mentioned, they had used it, and people that are fairly deep into the marketing space have used it. But I'm not as familiar with it, but it is an option out there, and to try out Segmate for you. And so that's if you, again, want to build your own. Now, we'll spend a little, to the top. There have been whole workshops around this, and it's very much more AI centric. I kind of wanted to give a little more of its due as we like we did ManyChat. Now, so segmate dot you see is the address there. So let's talk about these next few. And the problem is here that we're going to run into, they are so similar and the technology is moving so fast that I gotta believe that for some of these folks, they're really having to split and segment that market and find a way to stand out. It's really an issue to me in this type of space when everything is moving so fast and everything is in many ways very similar. It's still using the same perhaps chat GPT integrations, or they may use some other AI integrations. There's some others out there, but it's also kind of it's making that very difficult. So let's talk about some others here. At our first stop, these are some folks that are kind of seem to be making a niche for themselves as Capri GPT or Capri AI, really. And their deal seems to be being your secretary, being your appointment setter, being your, I mean, will it do sales? Yes, you can probably get it to do sales, but that doesn't seem to be where their aim is. They're sort of the after the sale, all the back office of your system and helping that to run smoothly. And some of the in trying to differentiate these, I mean, I'm trying to do the best I can as somebody really coming from the outside. I have tried none of these. So I'm not as familiar with it as some other people. So I'm bound to get something wrong, but therein lies the issue. How do you segment yourself? How do you carve out your niche? How do you stand out and be unique in our market dominating positions as we work through these things? So you have this. It certainly makes a big compelling argument. They've got their 14-day free trial there that they're all over, very go high level style. But there is, other than that, doesn't seem to be any pricing here, and that's could be an issue. I mean, we did come through an affiliate link from somebody, but still, when you try to go to the regular website, it's just not there. It's not listed as there. So that could be an issue. But if you need the back office side of this might be a very good place to start. There are a couple of the guys that responded there had used this and had good luck with it. And so it definitely has its place, particularly if you, some of the things where AI could work is maybe not the lead, but although there were some examples we'll see in a minute that sort of beg to differ there, but really the tool that fills in the back side of everything and helps keep it running smoothly, helps your business process run smoothly, fills in the gaps that you possibly could miss. So that could be something where this could really play a role. And this software seems to be very prominent in making that happen. All right, so then we go to a competitor called FlowChat. And FlowChat seems to be very much social media and messaging oriented. Their little video goes with that, but it's very much geared toward responding to social media messages, emails, SMS, web chats, all of those things that are very core responsive things that AI can fill in and do. And obviously there's a big AI component here, but the idea is that it fills in a lot of those. It responds to your people 24/7 whenever you're not available. So you see how that all works here, and then it drops it into your CRM. There appears to be some kind of, I mean, there's certainly different CRM integrations. I don't know that there's anything specifically with any specific one, but if we go to look at the pricing here, we see it's on the higher side. It's these are go high level type prices for what you get. So there must be something very compelling to having it there. They do a lot of advertising. They've reached out to me, but I haven't really jumped into that space because, like a lot of things, and I don't know about you all, but I'm not ready to buy until I'm ready to buy. And until that point, I mean, it's really kind of academic, and I don't want to, get into the sales cycles time and be bombarded with that before I'm ready. So I have not plunged into what FlowChat is, but it seems to be very messaging centric from the explanations that I've come across there. So, but it's certainly an option, particularly if you need something to fill in that messaging side and you may be using some other integrations besides Go High Level. There are plenty of those out there. This may even have some of its own, and so it works nicely into its own systems. There is FlowChat. Now we switch over here to another one that was recommended from the group called CloseBot AI, and these guys are kind of they're trying to find their niche as well. They are prospect qualifiers. This is really what this excels at. Because it's one of those, can AI do anything all the time? Yes, it probably could, but you're going to have to find your niche. And theirs is qualifying prospects. So they really work through, as somebody does reach out across the different channels, to narrow that cycle down to have the good and proper answer. And you can watch demos and things of that it's going on. You see it integrates with, there's Go High Level, there's Salesforce. A lot of these are through Zapier. They're not necessarily direct integrations, but some are building it in. And so it just depends on the situation, the chat and the bot that meet your needs, and whether or not they integrate with your software. If we go look at price, I mean, you see you can scale, you can do a lot of different things. And as we go look at the pricing here, it's very reasonable: $39, $99, $199 for the different levels. 99 kind of being the median price there. And so there's some different things you can do there, but that's called CloseBot AI. And its expertise is qualifying prospects. Then we come to Zappy Chat, and I've had some interaction with, again, not committing to any of them because I haven't, but my companies have not. And we try to sort of make it that way for right now. But this one has a couple of things that are interesting. One, they've really advertised their AI interactions as being really a cut above. Whether or not they are, I really don't know. But they do advertise themselves as sort of being a cut above in that interaction department. The other thing that they really push on this page, if you read it long enough, is the Go High Level direct integration. It appears to be from within their software itself, and not necessarily, certainly not through Zapier and not directly into Go High Level. But Zappy Chat, I mean, there's some interesting interactions in the way that it works, but it's very similar otherwise to the FlowChat and to some of the others. But they're really pushing their Go High Level integration. And as you work your way down here and go through all the sales page, you see it's something like 197 as we get down here toward the bottom. And they have some other tools. You see there's video and ad integrations and prompt generators and some different things that it adds for that value. So quite a bit for the money. And this, you get there to the 197 that it actually is. And so these guys are good in the middle here, are really good examples of some of the problems with this space right now. It's going to work itself out. And as more enter the market, but the challenge really will be, how can they differentiate themselves from everybody else instead of just being a me too in the AI space because it's cool and trendy? How do they really set themselves apart? And I'm not saying these folks do or don't, but that's a question that these businesses are going to have to answer as they continue to integrate and go forward. And finally, we lead ourselves in our plugin service profile to Go High Level, who has their own integration thing going. And at the time of recording is actually planning a big launch event. We have been over prospected. If you did not have a Go High Level account, to go get one. They kind of failed, in my opinion, on as big a company as they are and successful as they are, in that the people who have already signed up, there's not a lot on the back end for them. And so they're really confused as to what's going on. So I reached out to support because I was one of them, and support said, we are very bombarded by this. So didn't quite plan that one out. They're getting a hold of the new customer for sure, but the ones on the back side, they're not necessarily taking as good a care to reach out and say, you know what, if you've already this week-long boot camp we have planned, you're already in. Because you're a loyal Go High Level customer, you're already here. There's some of that there, but it's like in the fine print almost. So an opportunity lost, in my opinion. But nonetheless, Go High Level has probably for at least the last 6 months, if not more, offered an AI component. And so this is a look at it, at least from the reselling point of view. Now, where does it show up? It shows up in the, now this is for the reselling. They started originally and may still have a sort of a pay-as-you-go, pay-as-you-use model. But it was very, very inexpensive. But they also have now, you see here, this is in the main section at the agency level. It's the high near the highest level they have for most mortals. There are higher levels, but we don't have that much money. We don't make that much money just yet. So this is you see it's the cost of $49 a month. You can mark it up 30 and you make 79 out of it. If you're a reseller, you can resell this conversation AI. So it can be added to every sub account. And where it shows up is a lot of it is in the workflows. As you build them out, the automations, you can have the AI do certain things, book appointments, do responses, that sort of thing. It's also in the email and the messaging components. Again, as far as social media goes with High Level, it cannot initiate a lot of those things. It can initiate emails and text messages, but initiating social media messages, it cannot. But it can respond to them. And so the social media messages, the chat bots, the website chat bot, the Google Business Profile, all those different ones it can respond to, as well as some really cool voice integrations for phones, an IVR system. So there are ways that it is working, that AI is definitely working itself into the responses and the interactions by just inside the Go High Level itself, let alone something like a Zappy Chat or a Flow Chat that come in from the outside, or others that come in from the outside and integrate to it either directly or through something like Zapier. So you can, but it helps you compose the emails and the templates and the messages, and helps put all that together. It can do the work tasks and the workflows. It can do a lot of stuff like that. That's very handy and very useful, and especially for the price. They may just a warning. They may still have the sort of pay-as-you-use type of model going there. But they may not too. I'm not really sure where that stands at the moment, because just like a lot of things, AI, even the Go High Level models are changing around a lot. So this is where we're at with chatbots and AI. It is a booming, crazy, wild business at the moment. And in some respects, there's not a lot of differentiation. So the ideas of market dominating positions, I mean, there's not going to be one that ever dominates that market ever. That's the case with most online businesses. But each one of them is going to have to find its own place and its own way to stand out, to really be something that makes a difference, to really be something that captures attention and gets more than just a little bit of the market share that's involved. That's our tour of plugin service profiles. We do try to take different categories and look at different options that are there, all a part of pluginbusiness.net and pluginbusiness.com. So all of these will be represented at some point or another on the site as it develops. So if you have any questions, you can certainly respond there, or contact each one of these companies individually to have your questions answered. Thank you for watching. We will talk to you again soon.